You hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I like? Patreon.com/inkdependence keeps this channel ad-free. Hello folks, welcome to Inkdependence. I'm Mike, and this is Kala Sanxiantai. This is part of their dye-based series from Kala, which is a Taiwanese brand that is known pretty well for their pigmented nostalgia series, which are great inks, but all in a very sort of like earthy hue mostly. But then they have these very exciting dye-based inks that are based on places. This is from the Island North 38 Degrees Landscape series. I believe Sanxiantai is the name of an island, maybe a beach. I'm actually not 100% sure, but it is a very nice blue, that is for sure. And these dye-based inks are very good. Now, I hadn't reviewed them because, or at least not many of them, because I wasn't sure if they'd be available. They're not widely available in the US. There are like two places you can find them. One is Shigure Inks, which has looked inactive for a while, but is in fact still around. You should definitely still check out Shigure Inks. They sent this little sample out for me. I can't find the sample vial at the moment. It's been misplaced, but it looks like this more or less. And these are definitely worth checking out. They're very bright, happy colors in the main, and they are named after like foods and stuff, and definitely very cool. So let's talk about this ink here. Rhodia 80 grams per square meter. This is actually my last review on this paper. I only have one sheet left, and it's one I just kind of scribbled on. So like that's it. I'm done with Rhodia for now. I'm moving on to some other papers. So you'll be seeing those, and maybe have been seeing them in some other videos. So flow pretty medium, maybe a little bit on the wet side. It's hard to say. I do have this in an extra fine sig nib, which is very, very small. It's in this pen and has been in this pen for over a year. Here I say I've enjoyed it for nearly a year. That's because I meant to record this a while ago and then I got sidetracked. So it's the thing that happens. This is my Shown Design Peekaboo pen. I love this pen from Shown Design. Ian makes some of my very favorite pens, and it has an extra fine sig nib on a custom laser nib that I got done with my beautiful wife's face, and she ground the nib. So it's an Audrey nib that's extra fine. Nice, right? So I don't usually use an extra fine nib, but Audrey wanted me to try this out, so she ground me one. And it's actually really nice, and this ink has done really well in this extra fine. So I think if you put this in a bigger nib, it would be even more striking, but really good, rich blue color going on here. So let's go ahead and do our water test. We'll do look at a bunch of other papers. We'll take a look at the chromatography. You know the drill. Let's get a little bit of water on the subject here. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna squinch it around there. I think I need a little more water. Let's get a little more water on here. Using a thing that I usually use for much larger volumes of water because I couldn't find my syringe. So it's been a day of losing stuff for me. All right, let's go ahead and squinch that around. Looks good. Looks good. Let's mop it up here. I don't think there's going to be any real water resistance here. It's not really that sort of thing. We have a whole bunch of blue inks to look at alongside of this because this is a blue space that I really like. Look at those lines. Entire lines came up. Yeah, no real water resistance on this one. Keep it away from your wet mugs or your iced tea that you might spill or what have you. It's not really going to behave very well for you with that. These are 30 ml bottles. They're these little... they're actually really fun bottles, and I don't have any yet, but I need to get some. You can find them online, but they are $12 to $16 depending on where you find them for the 30 ml bottle, and sometimes you can find them in sample sizes like I got for this one. So there you go. All right, chromatography, there it is. Nothing left down here, so no surprise that there's no water resistance. You got a little bit of violet here, a little bit of bright blue, not a whole lot of things going on in this ink. Pretty simple chromatography, but no water resistance. Here it is on our 20-pound, 30% recycled copy paper. This is the kind of junk paper that you find in the office copier because it is the cheapest thing available. It's not really fountain pen friendly. There are a few little feathers here in this very extreme close-up from this extra fine. Also, sometimes when you grind an extra fine or a very fine nib into something that has edges, you will sometimes get feathering that you wouldn't otherwise get because it kind of cuts across the little fine grains in the paper. So not really sure if that's something you're going to see in other nibs with this ink or not. And then on the back, just a little bit of bleed through, not much. It's very sort of like typical or maybe even low level bleed through for this bad paper. Next up, Dom Tar, another paper that I'm going to stop using, I think, because while I really like it, it is kind of an unusual paper, and you can't get it from Blank Slate anymore because Blank Slate doesn't exist. But this is Dom Tar Bold 28, and you can sometimes find it under the Xerox brand of papers. You can find this stuff, and it's a really nice paper for fountain pens, and I hope you'll go looking for it. It looks really nice on here. This paper's not quite white, as you can see when I put it next to these. It's got kind of a cream cast to it, but sometimes cream makes a color really pop, and I think that's the case here. And then on the back, just a few little spots of bleed through like here and there. No big deal. This is good fountain pen paper, but not perfect. Then here on wheat straw paper, another discontinued paper, really. This is pretty normal paper that's just like high quality fountain penny sort of paper, but it's not coated or anything. So it's more like some of your other papers you might be finding. And on here, looks great. Striking, no weird things, no feathering, no bleed through of any kind. Really nice stuff. If you can find wheat straw paper, I say do it. It's a little bit like sugarcane paper. That's kind of a good analog. And then lastly, Tomoe River, another discontinued paper. I'm going to start getting some different papers here. Where'd it go? There it is. As you can see, yeah, I inked this up end of April last year. I've just really been enjoying it in here, and I have inked this up several times. I've almost run through the sample because it is so good in this little extra fine sig. And it's such a nice ink. Look at how good it looks on this Tomoe River. I've been using this little tiny nib in my planner and things like that because sometimes you need to write like very small in planner boxes because they just don't give you that much room. So yeah, it's been really great in there, and I love the way that color pops. Next up, we've got a bunch of color samples that are kind of like this. This is on a Colodex card by Well Appointed Desk. You can find them at the link below here. So Kala Sanxiantai. I really like the way that looks. Here we have Monteverde's Horizon Blue, which is another really good, rich blue. Papier Plume's Calais Real, which is one of my very favorite Papier Plume inks. So this is a color space that I'm a big fan of. We've also got here Private Reserve's DC Super Show Blue. This is their newer formulation. Slightly less sheen on here, but quite wet. So if you have a really dry nib that you want to blue up, I would say use that one. And here we've got Straits Pens, Honest Inks, Poor Man's Sapphire, which is meant to look a little bit like Parker Penman Sapphire. I don't think it's quite the same, but it's fairly close and a really nice blue. A bit darker and richer than Sanxiantai, but same kind of area. Then we've got another Private Reserve. I should have done these together, I suppose. This is American Blue. The original formula of American Blue was one of my very favorite blues. This one retains a lot of the rich blue color, and it's kind of the same. It's a little bit like, I don't know, maybe more consistent perhaps than this one, but very nice color of blue. But again, very wet. All these new Private Reserves are quite wet, so use those only with your drier pens. And then probably my favorite blue ever is Birmingham Pen Co.'s Cathedral of Learning Panther Blue, which they don't make anymore, and I only have this one little bottle left, and so I'm hoarding it. You can't have it, but it is a beautiful blue, and it's in the same kind of space, although maybe a little bit darker, but gorgeous blue, that one. And lastly, one that is inconsistent and one that I won't be buying again. This is Newler's Liberty's Elysium. So if you're looking for one that is an ink that is pretty darn close to Liberty's Elysium, it doesn't have the water-resistant properties of this, but it does have some other qualities, like you know what you're going to get, but it's not as inconsistent as these tend to be. And also, like, the guy who makes these doesn't seem to be a very good dude. So, it's that may put some people off as well. So this Kala Sanxiantai is very nice. And I say give it a shot. Oh, I have a couple more here. This one's Blackstone Barrier Reef Blue, which I think is the same in base, but this has a whole bunch of sheen that develops, and Blackstone is kind of gone. And then Storia's Night, which is, rather Sailor's Storia Night. This is a pigmented set of inks, and this is kind of close, but it's pigmented. It's kind of got this sort of like matte, dusky feel to it that Sanxiantai doesn't. So I thought I'd throw those in case you're looking for some alternatives or some, things like that. So thanks very much for watching. Take a look at Sanxiantai here, wherever you find Kala inks, especially from Shigure Inks. Thanks again, Alex, for sending this out for review. Pretty sure that's what happened. Maybe I bought it. I don't remember. It was a while ago, but just assume that he sent it out for review. And definitely worth checking out. I think this is good. There's also some like turtle-shaped rice cake and a lot of really interesting inks in this Kala collection. Hey, look at that graph up there. There are a lot of people still watching and not subscribed. So hey, hit that subscribe button and join the crowd. Let's get this 100% subscribed. Yeah. Until next time, peace out.